During the recent Avengers issue #1 comic book trailer, they referred to a bunch of the members with nicknames: the Star, the Engineer, here's Thor's name, and then the Black Panther gets the King. The question that arises is, how could he be the King? How could he call himself that, or this comic book referred to him as that, when we read what John Ridley wrote in his most recent issue? T'Challa says, "For the first time in my life, I have the strength to walk away. The throne's not mine. Jahai, I can't claim it. I don't deserve it. And I will be king no more forever." What's the deal here? See, I was worried when I heard the interview from Eve Ewing saying the word.
I don't think it's good storytelling or good continuity to immediately leap away from where the previous person left you, right? I think we continue on that for the time being, see how that plays out in ways that are new and interesting, and that in the long run, that my priorities might be different.
That answer from her was before this comic book page came out. I can now imagine some eyes that this is going to be something that she wants to undo in the long run. But why is it being undone so immediately? He appears to be the king in a comic book now. Not her comic book, but the Avengers series written by Jed McKay. It seems to me that there's some inconsistency, and I'm happy about it. I've seen characters say things like that and go back on their words. We've had Craven's Last Hunt, and that didn't stop Nick Spencer from doing something. We've also had marriages, which are supposed to be happily ever after, lasting forever, that don't last forever. We've had final crises that end up having follow-up crises. It's irrelevant. There's nothing to be married to or attached to. The one writer who wants to have some sort of, I guess, continuity, fine. That's cool for you. But according to the Avengers comic, the Black Panther comic, it doesn't matter that he's not the king anymore. The Avengers comic has done what fans have asked for, and he is now the king again, according to the Avengers comic book trailer. Nothing lasts. A lot of people were up in arms, worried, possibly because of that single page where he says he's not going to be the king anymore. That just took 3 months, and it's being undone, according to this trailer. Good. Now, the last thing. The final thing, the most likely scenario is that the intern who was instructed to create this comic book trailer doesn't read Black Panther. Oh yeah, the black character. Yeah, he's a king. Next, let's do engineer for Iron Man. Let's do Thor. What's Thor gonna be? That's all. That's probably what happened here. But is the Black Panther the king once again? I read nothing into this at all. I would like to see the comic book come out. I'd like to see the Black Panther issue #1 refer to him as king, maybe undo many of what that piece of trash writer who wrote the 12 Years a Slave movie. He also wrote this article here from 2007. I implore you all to read it. I'll actually scroll through, let you pause, and read the verbiage that this man uses for this guy who was hired by Marvel Comics. This guy who wanted to unking T'Challa. This piece of trash human being wrote this article. You guys can be shocked and amazed and notice who is the guy who decided T'Challa's not going to be king anymore, going to exile him out of Wakanda, and the character deconstruction that was done, the things that made this character great, was by this man here. Nothing should be honored. Nothing should be kept because this piece of trash human being did something to the character. If it was bad and it was toxic, you guys can make your theories on where it comes from. It's more than a theory to me. I'm pretty confirmed that the human being responsible for the last 15 issues of Black Panther is not worthy of upholding the storytelling from that human being, if we can even call it a human being. I'm still scrolling. You guys can read every single word of this thing. I hope you're pausing the screen, because the Black Panther not being the king is directly in contradiction of the inception of this character. The great Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they saw how people who had the dark skin tones were being reflected, and they said, we're going to make something better. We're gonna depict people who look that way in a positive light. King is probably the highest form. So king, that's it. It was a monarchy. Maybe this guy internally has something issues with monarchies and prefers democracy. I don't see it that way. I think that it's deeper than that, and he just didn't want someone like T'Challa to be a king. Undo that, please, immediately. Thank you. If the Avengers comic does indeed read King Eyes T'Challa, It is a benefit of everyone who is a fan of this character. There's nothing to be married to. Maybe your first couple of issues, e-viewing, are written in stone. They've already been made. The artist has already drawn them. So, like the first 5 issues or so, have him on the outskirts of Wakanda. Don't honor the prior writing. Have the people vote T'Challa to be the king. Easy as that. They use the democracy to implement the monarchy. It's as simple as that. Not hard. T'Challa is the king, always will be the king. Everything gets undone from previous writers. Please do not be the first one to have some sort of willingness to honor the previous, especially when the previous is dog doo doo.